Yo,
Jesus
everybody,
Christ,
what is up?
That was the loudest music ever.
Was it loud? It was good on my end. Was it
It
loud?
was like throttling. I was like, I couldn't even hear.
Was it good?
Like,
was it good, Javier? Or is
it was
just
good on my end.
Okay,
it was good on my end.
Well, dude, Keco, because you got those old fucking headphones, dude. You need a pair of AirPods or something. That's what the kids call bass, bro. Nothing but bass. All about that bass.
I guess
that's what they say. No printer.
Remember that.
Guys, thank you so much for joining. We got another fun episode of Lights, Camera, Keco, Javier Collects this Friday, June 16th of 2023. Thank you so much for joining, 5:14 p.m. So we're only 4 minutes behind precisely this fine evening. But that said, we're going to make it worth your while, I promise. Guys, before we address our wonderful chat, we got to address our panel members. Then we'll jump into our first topic, which, trust me, there's a lot to cover tonight, and we will do our best to cover all of it that we can. That said, we got the ladies' man, the man here himself. I like to call him the ladies' man. I don't know if you really are, Javier, but you look like a ladies' man. You sell insurance, bro. You do a bunch of crazy, wild shit. So how you doing, man? Happy to have you here.
Great. No, thanks for having me, Will, as always. I wouldn't call myself a ladies' man. I'm a lady man to my own lady.
So you're taken. That's what you're
taken. But I appreciate the compliments. Thank you.
Dude, well, at least it's out there for the 3% of women that are watching this show tonight. The women know Javier is off the table. Keco is off the table. I, however, am available. So if there's anyone out there, not in the chat though, because I did one time. It was like, what was it, five or 6 years ago? I did date one girl who I met from YouTube. I would not do that again. That was probably not a good idea, but I'm just gauging Keco's reaction. I just want to see what he's going to do. Keco, you're muted, bro. I need your opinion. I need your advice on this.
I would agree. You never shit where you eat type of thing. Is that what everyone says? I even made the mistake of trying to pick up gym people, and that flamed out tremendously. Obviously.
Have you ever approached a woman at the gym?
I did. Yeah, absolutely.
How does that go? Like, did it go well?
Well, yes, obviously, because it's me. But you've seen every TikTok and every little Instagram reel of all like the do's and don'ts at the gym, like where hot gym girl is like, fuck, I don't want to have like this dude coming up to me while I'm doing my sets. But then you have the thirst traps that out there and just literally stretch and put their ass out there to try to get guys to come up to them. And then the guy approaches them and they get mad because you approach. I'm like, bitch, what do you want exactly? But so there was a girl, this is well before Amy.
My God.
This is well before Amy. And she was doing like kickboxing or something like that. And so she was like kicking the heavy bag and such. And I'm like, okay, I mean, she looks like she's fit, looks like she's in the same area as me. So I'll give this a whirl type of thing. And so I went in there and just kind of, I made like a one-off joke or whatever about kickboxing or something. Like, oh, you have to show me how to do that sometime or something ridiculous like that, just to kind of show interest in what they're interested in, type of thing. And long story short, I ended up asking her out. We ended up going to like a little like dinner date type thing, and then it progressed into an actual relationship for like a month. And then I'm like, I really don't like this girl. And like she like introduced me to her mom, and I was like, oh shit, this is getting serious. I don't want to have to deal with this. And so like I like checked out, and like I was emotionally and physically unavailable from then on out. And so she's like, I just think it's ridiculous that you're all blah, 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 like at the beginning, and now you don't care anymore. It's like, yeah, exactly. I don't care anymore. So like I don't want to be a part of this. So all that to say is that it was weird because you don't want to have to, because you still go to the same gym. No one's going to give up their membership. So you have to see these people again. So that's awkward. And then like, if you are at the gym and you are like still in that dating period, there's these weird opportunities where like either they'll try to like scratch your back or something while you're like lifting, which is weird, they're like, hey, like when they walk in, they'll scratch your back, which makes you uncomfortable because you don't want to see that. But then you can't do the same thing to them either, because then they're like, what the fuck?
That's sexual harassment.
Exactly. And so it's extremely,
you can't do that.
It's not a good situation. So all that to say, yes, I've done the gym thing. Not enjoyed that. So go find people outside of your normal like habitations. That way, when you do the run in eventually, you don't have to feel like all freaked out.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. Guys, seriously though, it's such a dangerous game to approach a woman at the gym. I don't know if I would ever do it. Because a lot of women just want to be left alone at the gym. Some, like you said, Keco,
They do. Like, unless they are
Right.
TikTokers that are filming their ass, they just so they can put it's like POV guy approaches you at the gym while you're doing the leg press or whatever. Ew, creep. Things like that. I mean,
Right.
unless they're entrapping you to essentially be their content, I mean, they don't want you there.
That definitely is entrapment, bro.
It is. I saw one today. It's like my reaction when I'm into somebody and trying to flirt versus when I'm not into somebody and trying to flirt. It's like, whoa. If you're not into somebody and you're trying to flirt, why are you flirting in the first place? So,
yeah,
bitches me crazy, man.
Well, it's pretty wild. And we're going to get through all these comments, but I got one comment that said go to Whole Foods. That is a good choice. It's even better. Home Goods. Home Goods is where the women are at. Trust me. And also,
because they're home builders.
I'm telling you, Javier, Home Goods, I don't know if they're all single, but the women are there. And I will also tell you another place, this is a little bit lower level, but Target. Women love Target. Target.
It's that 5% red card, bro.
I feel like all I see is couples in Target.
Well, that maybe, but see, look, Natalie G said Home Goods, my jam. See, what did I tell you? A literal woman in the chat confirming Home Goods is a thing. I'm telling you.
If you want a free tip or whatever, if you do want to go to like the baby kids section and say, hey, I'm trying to find something for this registry. You know anything about that? Because then I'm looking for something for this person's registry. Can you help me find that? Oh, what is this? Oh, you need like diapers or whatever. Oh, and then you start that conversation. That's how you can do it. But you don't pick people up at the super.
They also might think it's for your kid, which could be problematic for them. So
no, that's why you say it's a registry. It's a registry for my friend.
Right, but they might not. They might just assume. They might be like, oh, he has a kid. You know what I mean? Like, it's
city boys up.
Did you guys see Mike Litteris? Yeah. You guys see Mike Litteris?
Yeah, I saw his comment. I know. He said, I'm married now, but I never hit on a girl at the gym. That was literally one of the off-place limits. The subway is fine, but only if the doors are open so you know she can escape. He also said something really funny. He was like, I'm not usually one to give dating advice, but Will, wait till the third date before you tell her The Force Awakens is your favorite Star Wars movie, or maybe never. That's pretty true. Anyway,
I'll go one farther. When you start saying that Kylo is your favorite character, then that will really isolate.
Women are like, yeah, I gotta go. I'm getting a call. I gotta go. My house
not
is
a bad thing.
Yeah,
we love Adam Driver.
Yeah, pretty much, bro. Me too. Danny boy, good to see you, bro. Guys, let's adjust the chat real quick. Danny boy, thank you so much, bro, for joining. Ro Moreno, the man himself. Love Moreno, dude. He has an awesome collection, especially I always remember the statues he has. Love to see it. Blurred Dad Life, Jonathan. Good to see you, bro. As always, love Jonathan, bro. Good to have you. Thalia Meyer, the fellow Loki fan. Thank you, Thalia. Appreciate having you here. Sam Logan, he messaged me because I posted a video of me riding on the back of an eagle today, which was pretty exciting, I feel like. And he told me he was going to ride on there with me. And I was like, well, Sam, you can hop right on. There's plenty of room. So we're going to fly to Mordor, I guess. Better than Spirit Airlines. That's what I was saying. You could fly the Eagle over Spirit and you'd probably get there a lot safer. So Gilbert Almazen, what is up, fellow collectors? What's up, Mike? It sounds really bad, but every time I see Mike Litteris, I think Mike Clitoris. But like, I just think it really.
That's exactly what it is. That's the point.
That's
not a real name.
Oh shit, Mike, dude, that's fucking great, bro. I read that shit and never fucking realized it until.
Yes, it's just like Alcoholic and Seymour Butts.
Damn, I'm fucking dumb, dude.
Damn. I thought we said this last week.
Dude, I don't think we last week. This? I didn't think we
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know. Anyway, guys, sorry for all the language. My apologies. Movie Candidate said, hey, everyone, Will, I knew you weren't a fan of The Flash, but we picking up any of the announced Flash Hot Toys. No, but we will talk about that. Thank you so much. Collector Joey said, Will's new vids interest me. Bro, this is just the beginning. Trust me. Danny Lee. What's up, sweet angel? Good to see you, Danny Lee. Mary Sullivan. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Mary, for joining Collectible Chats. Luis Jimenez. Sorry. I said that like a true gringo, so my apologies. Benno Benny. No InArt news. We got a little bit, which Keco did some research, so we're going to talk about it. Mr. Riley Reviews. DT Artman is here. Riley Reviews, the ladies' man himself with his Clone Wars jacket, whatever it is. Appreciate him. Punisher XS. Philip the Fool. Philip, good to see you. Philip's starting a new trend and I'm on board. He said babies on the half tip. It's kind of like, it's the new saying, kind of like no printer, all facts, on God, no cap, whatever. Like this is something that Philip's trying to get going and I'm on board. So I think we could start something here. Steve N, what's up, guys? Natalie G said Will is always available. What a player. No, not always available. Just sometimes on a stream to have some fun, but that's it. Anthony himself is here. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Keith Lee is here. Bro, go to Whole Foods. It's gold mine. Yeah, we talked about that. Absolutely. It's great advice. Let's see here. Petco is, dude, I don't know if you're going to find women at Petco. I don't know about that. That's questionable. Steve said Target's
dog training day, perhaps.
Yeah, dog training day, maybe. Yeah.
Adoption day.
Single women who make money go to Whole Foods. Yeah, it's probably true. They all know our tricks. I think they do. Let's go, Connor. Will, loving the shorts. Keep it up. Thanks so much, bro. Thanks so much. I'm trying. I think it's fun. Calvin said, come on, Will. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to give the people some good advice. Philip said, I'm not the originator. I'm trying to spread the word on your behalf. Hey, we're going to get there, Philip. We're going to get there. Guys, I'm so sorry we took so long. But we're going to jump into our first topic. And we got to talk about something I think is pretty exciting. However, I don't know that Mr. Keco is as excited, but I don't want to put words in his mouth either. We're going to talk about this. InArt has made an announcement that the next character coming to the stage is, of course, this Superman. And they said day versus night. So this strongly indicates that this will be a BVS Henry Cavill Superman. So I'm sure Riley is not able to sleep since the announcement. I'm sure he's super excited. There are a lot of Henry Cavill fans out there. I personally am a casual Cavill fan, right? This is probably not a figure that I would consider picking up personally because I just felt like a lot of the DCEU films, they never quite hooked me in the way maybe they were hoping. I really liked Snyder Cut. Thought that was really great. Some of the other DC films, I like some of the solo stuff. I really love Joker. The Batman was mid, but pretty good. I liked it, right? So, and there's some other good stuff in there. But before I get to Javier Keco, I do want to start with you because I know you got a good, spicy opinion for us. Day versus night, BVS Superman InArt. What are you thinking? Is this what collectors want? Is this what you want? What do you think?
I'll tell you right now, this is not what I want. This is not what I saw coming. And I just want to think through this with you guys critically. This idea to crown InArt's ass as this god tier collectible brand, I was planning on putting out a new show, honestly, before work got in the way of things today. We're kind of doing like a topics type show, kind of really similar to this, but just like a 10-minute second. Anyway, so I did my homework already on InArt and what the shit they haven't been doing, essentially. So let me pull my notes up, if I may, just so I can speak accurately to the buffoonery going on. So, Will, this is a question for you and the studio audience.
Okay.
Do you know when the Joker, the InArt Joker, was officially revealed?
Wasn't
While
it
you're looking that up,
March?
It was March 9th of 2022.
I have no idea how I got that right, but yeah.
Well done. Did you know that we're now, I guess, 420 days from the reveal of the InArt Joker to now? All right. InArt's been around for 420 days. Since then, in almost well over 400 days, we've had one figure released. One. And I said, well, they're just getting started. Okay. Then we had the reveal of Gandalf. We had the reveal of Batman. The reveal of Harry Potter, the reveal or tease of whatever that Japanese thing was. Pennywise. Lots of reveals and very little to go on as far as results. As I've been saying over and over, you've got to get to the point where something is in your hand. Otherwise, it is all just smoke and mirrors. I do not care that you've put out one figure. Well, no one's going to be able to. Those pre-orders were off the charts. There's not going to be a single figure like that again. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear that. This is a company that supposedly is going to be challenging for the 1/6 crown, which isn't a real thing at all. But if collectors are happy. But I want you to think about how much time has gone by and how little you have to show for it. If I turned in one project a year, I would be fucking fired. All right. I understand that. Do you realize that they put one thing out and everyone's sitting there parading all the time like, oh, baby, just wait. And you think about some of the things they've done. They're like, oh, Aragorn, that's the most lifelike thing I've ever said. And then they have like the expansion of like capes and boots. Like that's the dumbest add-on accessory I've ever seen in my entire life. Just put that with the set. And then you have like the ridiculousness of like the back and I'm fine with them trying to get the best accurate sculpt, whatever, on the back and forth of the Batman stuff. But if they say, well, Pennywise hasn't, we didn't have the pre-orders what we thought, then where the fuck is it? It's been 430 days. So why can't they get something else? Well, do you understand all the tailoring that goes into some of this stuff? These are works of art. I want to make sure they take the time to get it right. You've got to put something else. This is what people got bad at Hot Toys for doing. And I know there's people in the comments and on the streams that think I'm the Hot Toys fanboy. I don't care what the actual company is that produces my stuff. I just want the stuff, okay? If Hot Toys is putting things out, then yeah, I'll sit there and say, good job, they put something out. And everyone's like, well, you just want subpar products? No, I don't buy that shit. I don't put the 3.0 or the Star Ace stuff out there. I don't get any of that, okay? I get the good products. But if you're going to be a legitimate collector's friendly thing, well, look at Queen. They got a track history. One figure has been released. And they were like, well, are you going to talk about Superman? No, I'm not going to talk about Superman because they have so many things in front of it. Why get excited about this when you're not? This company is going to be closed down by the time Superman comes out at this rate. All right. They're like, it's been over a year and there has been one release. There's been 6, I believe, reveals. Does that mean that you're not going to get those in 6? Are you at this pace? You're going to get it in 6 years. All right. At the same pace. Do you think they're like, well, you don't understand. Joker's the most ever. Let me know what is happening. Tell me why I should be optimistic about this. When do you actually think that you're going to see this? Because I guarantee you it is going to be 2025 at minimum until this thing is in your collection. At minimum. So my life is going by way too quick. I do not got time to sit around and wait for this shit. Talk to me, people. Tell me why are you so quick to sit there and say you're getting all my money? Money's coming to you. Bullshit! I ain't about to give you anything because you have nothing to show for it. I have never. This is like you want to talk about like a scam. I understand it's a real company. It's Queen is legit. Prove me wrong. Put something out. Why keep giving money to all these people when they've not given you anything? That is insanity to me. So talk to me.
All right. Well, Javier, jump in, bro, because I want you to jump in before I do. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Even Howard Chan agrees with Keco.
Yeah, I saw Howard Chan posted a super chat, which we will get to, by the way, guys. I will get to your super chats, by the way. So, yeah, but Javier, what do you think about this? I mean, is this what collectors want? I know Keco had a very compelling case there, but I want to sort of have some back and forth there. What do you think?
No, absolutely. I mean, I personally think, myself, I'm excited to see what they do with this one because I'll be honest, out of all of the licenses that InArt has, I'm not super excited for all of them to I guess their whole lineup hasn't interested me too much. I'm a Marvel fan, but Henry Cavill is my favorite Superman. And that black suit Hot Toys made, man, I was contemplating for months if I should even pick it up. I didn't. But anyways, with this one, the InArt Hot Toys, the InArt Superman, I really do think that, I just got to wait and see. If they can do the BVS one, I hope that it ends up being good. But like what Keco said, it's going to take a long time for it to release. I feel like by the time it releases, the new Superman movie would probably be out anyways, right? If we're waiting 2-3 years for it, I don't know if the interest is going to be there. It's going to be similar to almost like that Cyborg that came out where, there was a lot of hype in the beginning when it was announced, but it took forever to come out. And now DC's ending. And now this Cyborg figure finally came out. So it's kind of one of those things where it's timing is definitely not on InArt's side based on their, track record. I am interested to see what they're going to do. But at the end of it, what else can you do besides just more accurate, like a more accurate face sculpt, right? I think the Hot Toys version is already pretty decent. If they can do something incredible with, the way that the suit maybe poses or maybe a different articulated body where you don't see the ab section when you bend the torso, maybe that'll be good. Because I remember when I had the red and blue suit, whenever I would pose the torso, you could technically see the outline of the figure. So I don't know. If they can do something like that, that would be great. But again, I know lots of people do like Henry Cavill. I just don't know if a lot of people are going to prefer him by the time that this comes out. And if this is another $400+ figure, I don't
Bro,
see
Harry
myself.
Potter was like
Yeah.
$500. You think
Right.
this
Yeah,
is
this
gonna
is
be
probably
cheap?
450.
Yeah.
Yeah, minimum. Yeah.
Yeah. If this is another one of those, like, I don't even know, man. Like, again, I am
You know
excited to
what's
see what they
funny?
do, but we'll see. What's up?
I said, you know what's funny is that they tipped their cap in that post. You know what it says there? InArt, late, snooze. That's what it says.
I thought, Keco, I was just
InArt,
going to say that.
late,
I thought it said
snooze.
InArt late. I
Damn.
thought it said late news at first. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
exactly what it is. They're late. It's from InArt and snooze. That's all I care about because it's a bore at this
Yeah, I
point.
think they meant to put latest news, but they forgot the T. So yeah, it's missing a T.
InArt
So
late news.
yeah,
Hell of
yeah,
an organization they're
it
running
says
there.
latest news, late snooze, yeah, or something like that. But yeah, this is a really interesting conversation because I do think you each make some really valid points here, and I think Keco does make a valid point about the pace that InArt is on and the trajectory that they're on, and why maybe there's a little bit of hesitation because things are so slow. However, I will say, besides Keco, the vast majority of people have been getting their InArt Jokers and have been very happy with it. So I think a lot of people, although the wait wasn't too bad. I mean, if they announced it in March, the first batch came out in like December, right? But then after that, most people were probably getting them about March of this year, right? So you're probably waiting about a year for that InArt figure. It's a little bit odd considering that's the only figure they put out in 2023 or 2022 and 2023, whatever. But I will say that that's a pretty good turnaround for most things. Like Hot Toys, you're waiting 2 years or more, but you also have a lot more figures to keep you occupied.
They've
InArt is
worked
releasing
on one figure.
Right.
They've worked on one figure and they got that out. That is
right.
not
But I will say,
acceptable.
for the most part, Keco, everyone who has that Joker, I would say about 90 to 95% of them are very thrilled with it. So, like for Hot Toys, I mean, I'd say that's like an absolute win for most figures. I mean, I think there's always going to be some people that move on and sell and whatever, but InArt has really delivered the quality with this Joker, I would say, that they promised on, besides yours, Keco, with the fucked up hair. But for most people, I'd say the Joker pretty much delivered. The magnets, not quite, maybe it's a little bit of work, but overall, the figure looks great. I do get what you guys are saying, though, about this Superman, because to me, look, I'm not the biggest Cavill fan, like I said, but I do think there are a lot of Cavill fans out there. And I do think there are a lot of people that will be lining up to buy this because the Hot Toys ones are all good to pretty good, but the head sculpts are always just a little bit off. Like they're there, but not quite perfect. So I do think if InArt comes out with something that's really, really good, then I would be excited to see it. It's not going to be for me, but I do think people will pick it up, no doubt. I mean, even in the chat, InArt figures, I mean, I had a lot of people tell me they weren't going to buy InArt figures at all. And even in the chat right now, we have about 54% saying no to Superman and I guess be 46 saying yes. That's pretty high for an InArt figure, considering what the prices are. We're also in a tough economy. Like it's hard for people to just drop $600 like that. Like that's on one figure. That's a lot. So I don't know. This is just the feet and the cape, so it's hard to really say too much. But I will say that InArt has collectors' attention, Keco, regardless of how many figures they put out. I do hope that they up the pace, though, because I am with you that at this pace and trajectory, I'm not sure this is sustainable. I'm not sure that I don't know their business numbers, their data, but I will say if you're releasing 1 to 2 figures a year, maybe like that's not great. Right. I guess they have Queen to kind of prop them up. But I mean, we're hoping
super alarming. I mean,
we're hoping,
super
Keco,
alarming
that Pennywise and Gandalf come out this year. And I think they will. But, other than that, I mean, maybe the Batman comes out this year. Maybe. Like,
I hope so. And here, don't get me wrong. Do I want them to fail and go belly up? No, because I want the Daenerys. I want the Michael Jackson. I've talked about that. But I am nowhere close to even seeing those revealed, yet alone to actually have them. And I'm not trying to be that negative person, but I'm super hesitant to keep shelling out money for pre-orders of something that who knows when they're coming. And not trying to say that the people that are providing them aren't trustworthy, but say for the worst. Say the company goes, we're not going to do 6 scale figures anymore. Okay, you're definitely past your 6-month window from PayPal. And if there's mass cancellations and mass refunds, are these small resellers going to be able to figure it out? I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, that's a nightmare scenario that I hope doesn't happen. So for the sake of collectors and InArt and everyone in general and resellers, whatever, I hope it works out. But right now, it's not really encouraging signs if you're just looking at the data and looking at the raw facts.
Right. It was pretty funny when you were like, if I put out 1 project a year, I'd be fucking fired. That's true. But I mean, at the same time, I do feel like that would be a huge Black Eye, Black Mark for Queen Studios. So if they wanted to continue that for whatever reason, then you would have a huge problem on your hands, because then now everyone from InArt would be pretty much going after Queen at that point, and they'd be like, look. But I really don't think that's a possibility in the slightest. So I think we're fine. So, but I mean, look, if they deliver the quality, I think most people are going to be happy. We're used to waiting in this hobby. Like, we wait for Modric cases, we wait for Hot Toys, we wait a long time. Like, when you tell people outside of this hobby who don't collect, and you tell them how long you wait for Hot Toys, like, when will you get that? It's like, oh, like 2.5 years. They'll be like, what? Like, they think it's crazy. So, waiting a year and a half for these isn't too bad.
No, that's another thing with InArt too. I mean, yeah, they delivered a figure. Well, I guess you can't really say that they delivered it since it came out in batches, but it was a little bit over a year, right, that we waited for the Joker.
It wasn't even really, because it came out in December for
9-10 months,
right? Yeah,
right,
so that was like 8 to 9 months, right? But for most people, it's about a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's not a bad turnaround when you think about it, but I guess when you start really just seeing how much they're announcing, I guess considering what they're releasing, it's not really, I guess, sustainable. Also considering John's comments, right? Didn't he say that they were aiming for an 8 to 10 month window for all figures? And I don't know if they'll be able to do that.
Yeah, that. I mean, that's clearly not happening this year.
Yeah.
I mean, not announcements, releases like that. There's absolutely zero chance that happens. Yeah, they might hit 3 maybe. Like, that's I mean, because if you're lucky, probably Pennywise, Gandalf, and maybe Batman, right?
Didn't they say that the Batman was the most like complex figure that they're working on too? I mean, that doesn't seem too,
because I don't think Aragorn comes out this year. I don't think so.
No way.
I think Aragorn's probably next year. Yeah, so I think, but I mean, look, if they deliver the quality, I'm all for it. It just depends, right? It just depends on how long we're waiting. But I'm with you, Keco. Like, and I've said this for a while now, and I'm with you too, Javier. Like, I want to see, I don't want them to sacrifice the quality, but we also want more. Like, I want to see Daenerys, and I want to see Legolas, and I want to see, because it just we go so long without hearing anything from InArt and no announcements. Now they put out some announcements, which is great, but they go quiet for a while, and it's that's why I guess maybe we're spoiled with Hot Toys, because Hot Toys, like, we're constantly getting something every week, and InArt's just not at that point yet, so I don't know, could just be that.
No, I
but
agree
anyway,
with you.
Yeah, so guys, great thoughts on that one. Great conversation, great discussion. I know we got some super chats, so I want to address those real quick before we move on to our next topic. But yeah, I mean, I'm very interested to hear, what people's engagement is going to be like with InArt, because I think they're doing really, really good stuff. So I'm a little bit different than Keco, but I get where Keco's coming from. Like, they're not invalid points in the slightest. Riley said, I waited for the InArt, Keco, and it worked. Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. Keco's not quite in agreement with you, but I know he says Keco always makes fun of, I'm going to wait for InArt. And I guess Riley did it and it worked out. But I'm surprised they went with that Superman next. I wasn't sure that one was even going to be made at all, but they did it. Riley, thank you so much, bro, for the super chat. Appreciate you, bro. I know Keco's thrilled for you. Howard Chan. Howard Chan is here. Thank you so much. Howard himself, the WW16 wrestling champion, OSW champion, whatever. The Superman is going to be trash, guaranteed. Howard officially said that. So he's on record. He made it public. So I guess if Howard said it, it's got to be true. Thank you so much, Howard, for the super chat, bro. And congrats on holding the belt. Keco almost won the belt, I heard, but yeah, maybe next time. So that said, we got a super chat from Carlos, who I'm not going to read his username. So Carlos said, to be fair, John did say they plan to release, not announce 8 to 10 figures per year, but I have said that at this pace, InArt won't be around for long. I actually agree with Karen today. Keco is Karen now, apparently. So yeah, that's pretty
Karen
good. Karen collects, baby. That's it. But thank you so much, Carlos. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, look, guys, do you guys think 8 to 10 figures is ever going to be a possibility for InArt at this point?
No.
I would think maybe 3 to 5. Like 3 to 5 a year.
I feel the only way that they reach 8 to 10 figures is if they do like a super limited quantity of like maybe 100 figures of each character, or maybe even less, right? If they do like 50 Daenerys, 50 Aragorns, like throughout, for their whole allotment, that would be a more exclusive thing, very expensive. But I feel that's the only way they could reach that. If they do what they're doing for the Joker, absolutely not.
Could you imagine though how coveted those would be if it were like 50 or 100? Oh my god, dude! You would have people like just clawing down retailers' doors to try to get those.
No, that would be insane.
Not for the Batman figures, I can tell you that.
Riley,
No one would
that's
want
that one's,
those.
that one's for
Riley
you,
would
bro.
buy 50 of them.
Riley would buy the whole stock. So yeah, thanks so much, bro. Benny, I agree with Keco. I can't justify pre-order Harry Potter in our figure until I get at least 3 figures from them. Well, it remains to be seen if you need to pre-order in our figures. Right now, we're assuming that you do, but then with the Joker, it kind of seemed like maybe, you could wait a little bit. But I know there are still people searching. I think Kit still has some deluxe rooteds out there, but yeah. I mean, as of now, I would say pre-order an InArt figure myself if you really, 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 really want it. Like if you love the character, but if you're just kind of like iffy on it, I wouldn't. But if it's not that I don't trust them, it's just a matter of that's a lot of money to tie up depending upon your NRD. And you got to be sure you want it. So yeah, Benny, thanks so much, bro, for the super chat. Were there any others that I missed? I don't think so. I think that was everything. Oh yeah, Howard Chan was the other one. We got him now. Okay, guys, that said, thank you so much for your thoughts on that one. There are some other things that I want to talk about here because they teased a figure that I really think would be interesting to a lot of collectors. But I want to hear people's thoughts on this because I have seen The Flash, and I don't think the panelists here have seen The Flash yet. I know Keco said he's probably going to see it sometime soon. Javier, same kind of deal. We don't know when exactly, but Hot Toys has teased a Supergirl from the Flash film, which I think people are really excited about. I'm really interested to hear the chat's thoughts and, of course, the panel's thoughts on this one. I do not want to spoil the film at all for you guys, and I will not. I did not love The Flash. I thought it was really bad. I didn't like it. There are some things I like about it, but overall, I found it to be a very disappointing experience. That said, Supergirl, I also found to be a very disappointing character. There's a lot I think that they want to do with her, but again, I will not spoil anything, but just doesn't end up getting a chance to do that much. But the actress was great. I thought the character was, had some potential, but that said, we'll see what shakes out with Supergirl. So, Keco, I want to ask you, Hot Toys teases a Supergirl here from The Flash. What do you think? Is this going to be something that collectors care about? Should they care about this? What are your thoughts?
It's a loaded question on should they care, because I'm never going to tell a collector not to care about something.
Do it.
Especially for, well, no, I mean, it's just for as much of a dry spell of DC figures that we were offered or collectors were offered over the past 12 months. You better care that a DC figure not named Batman was announced, because don't pre-order it or don't go all in, and all you'll get is more Batmans. If that's your thing. And then you can sit there and complain about how you don't like the Batmans that come out, even though I still stand by the fact that blue-cowled Christian Bale Batman is going to be an absolute stunning piece, Will, that I can't wait for you to absolutely love and fall.
I'm going to see it in person, bro. I'm going to see it in person.
You absolutely will. So with this I think this has a much better chance of being made than some of the other teases, for one reason. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but sex sells. This is an attractive figure, and people want to have a good representation of attractive person, I think. Now, granted, all those Black Widows just sit there, all the time, but I think there's too many of them. This is the first offering of something like this, but I mean, I do think this will be an offering because it caters to the weirdos that are really into it just because it's hot. It caters to it caters to them. It caters to the completionists. It caters to the Superman fans. It caters to the women. It caters to everybody. There's a lot of boxes it checks, and I think, depending on just this tease alone, I think it looks pretty good, in all honesty. Now, is it going to have that staying power to where the InArt is going to get the license? Because I know some people are like, oh, do you think InArt is going to touch any of the Flash figures? Bitch, they didn't even touch the figures they got right now. So I don't think they're going to get to those. So all that to say is, should you care about this? If you're a DC person, I think you probably should, because I don't want to hear you complaining about how they never put anything out and then you don't order anything when they actually do. That's the one thing I would say.
Yeah. And I think, Cameron, you make a very valid point here, because I do think, look, I mean, this is something we talked about with a couple of the J&D statues. And this is something that, I've even talked to different people about, retailers and whatever the case may be. And they've pretty much confirmed that it is a thing. Like there are companies that literally will make these characters, the female ones, because they know that some guys will buy them because they are attractive females, right? And again, if that's your style, do your thing, right? You know, as long as you're not doing
knocking that at all.
like some weird shit to the figures. Other than that, you're fine, right? So, but short of that, like, I mean, that is a factor. And look, if that's, you know, if you just want to admire the figure, then by all means be my guest. But it's one of those things where that is a factor. But I will say, for the completionists, like you said, Keco, and the comic fans, this is a pretty cool looking character, and a pretty cool character that I think, again, I don't know if they did enough with in this specific film, but maybe there's future installments or endeavors where this character could become more important, right? That said, I do think people will care about this, and I do think that they do because of those factors. Like, it's something that we haven't seen before from Hot Toys, and it's a unique figure because a different type of super person, Superwoman, Supergirl. So that said, Javier, what do you think about this? Should collectors care about this Supergirl here? I do think this Flash film is going to be very polarizing. I think you're going to get two very wide range, wide spectrum. Basically, I think you're going to get people who absolutely love it and people who hate it. I think you're going to get some maybe in between, but you're going to get a lot of polar opposites. What do you think, Javier?
I am very excited for this. I'm not a DC collector like at all, but I am very excited just for more DC figures and also Latino representation in the Hot Toys like figure lineup.
That's great.
Which I'm very excited for. Sasha Kaye, you know, I've seen her before in other work. She used to, you know, do some shows back, I think, in CBS and everything. So more Colombian representation, that to me is always a good thing. I love seeing that we are getting a Supergirl in the DC EU as a figure. If, you know, it gets announced. I just hope that Howard Chan doesn't give her like single jointed elbows or something like that, right? But I do hope that this figure comes out, because to me, I feel we are missing a little bit more representation on that side of just, I guess, like more ethnicities or more of a different variety in characters of actors and actresses. So I'm excited for this. And also I think for the completionists, like Keco and you said, you get Supergirl, you get Keaton Batman, and you get the Flash. The three of the main characters of the second to last DCEU movie. I think it's going to be, you know, something that people want to complete. Yeah, you could always get the pairing of Keaton and the Flash, but I mean, most of the promotional art that I've seen, you see the three of them. And I feel, you know, if Hot Toys just does two of the three, that's just another incomplete team that Hot Toys hasn't done. And we already have way too many of those personally. So I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I think you're right on. And I think, honestly, I do hope they make a Zod. I think that would be pretty cool.
Another Zod would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that Zod was like the ultimate bargain bin. Like people were selling that figure for like Stanley Barber prices. I mean, it got pretty low at one point, but it's still a good looking figure from what I've seen. I forget his henchwoman's name. She's pretty cool though. I really liked her. She's obviously in the film, so there's some cool stuff. So, and yeah, multiple Flashes, obviously. This could be something Hot Toys explores, but I don't think this is going to get the Shazam treatment. I think they are going to make this. I think this is going to get made. But it does beg the question, though, why does this get made? I guess because it's Superwoman, but not Miss Marvel or some of the other figures like that. Like Miss Marvel, we thought, oh, maybe it's like a teenage girl body. They'd have to make a new body. You know, they just didn't want to do it. They made Kate Bishop, right?
Right.
You know, and they
Let me ask you this. This is an honest question.
Yeah.
Is the girl under 18? Because I know the girl that played America Chavez is, and that's why we didn't get her, because they can't make likenesses of children.
Ooh. I don't know about the age.
We could look it up. Yeah. We could look it up and see. Can they not make likenesses of children?
Well, I don't know. That's the thing, is that want to, as a company, do you want to deal with the rights of, you know, children essentially when you're making your products and basing all those things and having to deal with royalties, and then once they turn 18 you have to change all those things. So I know that America Chavez wasn't made because she's under 18. I think she's like 16, 17 years old or whatever like that.
Right.
I think the girl that plays Kamala Khan is under 18 as well. And if that be the case, that would explain that potentially. And we obviously know that, you know, I don't know. Yeah,
that is a very valid point. That's a very valid point, and I'm wondering if that would be the case. But I guess since he's older now, but if they're going to make Hot Toys kind of teased, remember Harry Potter? Like if they were going to make a Daniel Radcliffe when he was a kid, I guess does it matter? Like he's not a kid anymore, but I guess it's a little bit different. I don't know. See, there's some legalities there that we just are not privy to. But I will say that that's a really valid point, Keco, and that could explain why.
She's 20.
Oh, so we'd be good then. Yeah. So we'd be.
Yeah.
She's 20 now.
Well, yeah, she's 20 now. So Aman Vellani, maybe when they were Aman Vellani is 20 years old. She just had a birthday in August, or will have a birthday in August, so she'll be 21. She was born in 2002. So maybe when they were filming it and getting the rights that she was under 18. I don't know. I don't know. That's just something I'm wondering about.
Right. Good point.
Yeah. It could be that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on Supergirl. I'm excited to see. I mean, look, I'm glad that the community is going to support a figure like Supergirl, because I think a lot of people are going to want it. And like Anthony Javier said, like, it is representation, and it's also just, it's going to be a cool figure. It's going to be a unique type of Superman, Supergirl, whatever. Like, it's going to be pretty interesting. And it's not Batman. Like Keco and I've talked about on the show a ton. I've been tracking everything. Like, almost every single DC release to the T has been a Batman figure this year, or a Batman villain, or whatever, right? So it's good to see something a little bit different. So yeah, I don't know.
I hope they make a Blue Beetle.
I hope they make a Blue Beetle. Looks freaking great. Blue Beetle looks absolutely great, bro. I can't wait.
If they make a Blue Beetle, man, that's gonna.
I think the movie's gonna
have to figure something out.
I think the movie.
The trailer looks incredible, man. Like, and I love the actor. I love Cobra Kai as a series. So fingers crossed.
I haven't watched Cobra Kai, but I need to.
It's a good one.
I need to. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. I always have to check with Melon's a little bit different. I'd make sure I don't miss any super chats. I don't think I saw any of those. So I think we're good. So if you guys see any, let me know and I'll make sure to jump on it. So we got a new announcement, right? We got a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Nebula. And I want to ask the question. I think this is really an important question to ask, because like I've mentioned a couple times now, in the tough economy and economic state that we're in, expendable budget is getting tighter and tighter, and you're looking at these type of things and you see a Nebula in a team suit and you start to wonder, I don't know that this was an expensive Hot Toys figure for them to produce, because they already have the head sculpt. All they got to do is put a new outfit on her that's probably pretty similar. They got a metallic arm though and some cool accessories. But I guess the question would be, I don't feel like people really supported the first Nebula in the way that maybe they thought they would if a Nebula was ever announced. Because, when I was seeing this before Endgame Nebula was announced, everyone was like, I want a Nebula. I need a Nebula. I need one to complete a team. And then she got announced and released, and it was just like, but there's other stuff I'm focused on at the moment. And I think that's what happened. And that's what tends to happen, because they get kind of lost in the shuffle. And now we have another Nebula where the first one I don't even think did that well in my eyes. So I have to ask the question. It begs the question: do we need another Nebula? So Keco, what do you think? I mean, is this necessary for Hot Toys here?
I am changing my opinion on this one because of one super factor that I thought out when I was actually messing with mine just the other day. This has articulated ankles. It moves. You can stand the bitch up. Both her and Gamora suffer greatly from not having ankle pivot at all, or ankle articulation. And I'm almost, when you put like the little backpack on, like, it might even be a cooler look than her Ravager outfit. I don't know. Do you need another one? No. Is this going to be a better one? Maybe. But the price of almost $300 is insane. And I saw someone commenting about the fact that it just shows how much more a Marvel rights likeness is compared to DC. This is $5 less than the Flash figure, who gives you 2 full head sculpts, multiple accessories, and USB light up. $5 difference between those 2 figures. And look what you get with this. It's a girl that doesn't have eyes, doesn't have any light up features, nothing. The ankle pivot is the only thing that is cool. Even the little lights on the little backpack aren't even real. Those are photoshopped in. So there's no LEDs. There's nothing. I do think the paint apps on this head is a little bit better than the other one. It's not as shiny. And I think it is a little bit subtly different. A little bit better likeness. I don't think it's a full reproduction of the last one we got. So it's growing on me. But damn, that price is a little bit steep for what you get now.
Well, it's interesting, Keco, that you bring that up, because I feel like Hot Toys has started to drift back the other direction. And I'm not sure what happened, because for a while the prices were like, damn, that's really low, right? That's really quite good. Like the Tom Holland red and blue suit, right? That one was a perfect example. I know that Optical was like, Tom Holland is $280. Like, they kept bringing figures up like that. And then Anakin and Padme were pretty reasonably priced. And you were like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And now Hot Toys has started to slowly creep back the other direction that they were going before. And I'm not sure what changed in that time, but it's slowly starting to market correct, I guess. But Javier, what do you think? I mean, do we need another Nebula here? Because I'm starting to wonder if these team suits might have been a miss for Marvel, because I don't know if people really loved them as much as they thought they would.
Yeah, I feel the team suits are almost in the same boat as the Avengers team suits, where it's cool in the movie, but
These
I
are a
don't know
little
if I
bit
need
cooler
a.
than that.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
I don't know, man. Like to me, they're almost in the same boat because I don't know if I need in my collection. I would not
Oh,
prefer a character or a group of characters to have the
you don't want
exact same
Captain
outfit
America in white
repeated.
spandex, though.
No, I do,
No.
I do not. I do not. But I do like variety between every single character. Like if I have a Nebula, I want her in her Ravager outfit. If I have, a Star Lord, I want him in his like trench coat look. I guess those to me are cooler looks than a team suit that spans across the entire line. While they do look cool and it's very cohesive, I personally won't be picking this up. I'm not a fan of it. And to me, I still stand by the point that I think this is going to be in the same boat as the team suit Avengers Tony Stark figure, where,
Wow.
people might buy a few and try to customize it or something. But I mean, I'm good. I have my lineup of Guardians down here, and I'm personally a big fan of just how they all look like they belong together, but they're not all carbon copies of the outfits. So I don't know. And I also do think, though, that this does have cooler accessories. I am a big fan of the joints on the ankles, like the what did Keiko say?
Ankle pivot
Ankle pivot.
articulation.
The ankle. Right, the ankle articulation. Because this one, the Gamora and the Nebula, you are right, Keiko.
Yeah, she's got
Horrible
those high
exposing.
heels on. High
Yeah,
heels.
they
They're terrible.
cannot stand
Yeah,
at
or it's
all.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard. So I mean, this is definitely an improvement on that front, but I think it's the costume that's a miss for me. And I think it's like that across all of the Guardians. The only one that I would consider picking up with this costume would be Star-Lord, because this
Right.
is his original comic accurate costume. But then it doesn't come with the helmet. So again, to me, that's another miss. I personally don't think that we need another Nebula. I think what we have is great. It is nice that we are getting some new accessories, the ankle articulation, some more switch outs for her arm. But for almost $300, I don't see myself adding this or any of the other Guardians. If they make a Drax, I think I'm okay. He's gonna be in this suit. It's not gonna be the one with the tattoos and the seamless body that everyone's been wanting. It's not gonna be that. So same thing for Mantis. We don't even have that Christmas special Mantis released yet. If they're gonna put another one on pre-order that's gonna look exactly the same, I don't see how that can be an interesting pickup for people. I would rather have a green Mantis,
Yep.
a brown trench coat Gamora,
Yeah.
a red trench coat Crimson Star Lord.
Yep.
Yondu looks incredible, but he doesn't have the same costume as everyone else. I want them to stand out. This is just going to make it bland in the collection, and I think I'm going to pass on all of them.
Well, that's my thing, Javi, and I think you make a super excellent point here. Every figure in the Guardians line, I feel like, has some sort of issue that would prevent people from purchasing it, right? So, like this Nebula, for example, it's the other one. This one has a cooler head, maybe a slightly. I know Linda was pointing out a slightly different head sculpt, different paint app, maybe a cooler arm, but the other outfit is cooler. The Ravager outfit is cooler. You look at Star-Lord, right? He has no helmet. That is the best head sculpt for Star-Lord, but he has no helmet, and it's the team suit. And Rocket, it's the old head sculpt. So, and then you look and if they make, Mantis or Drax or whatever, well, people with Drax are going to be like, well, I want Drax with the tattoos and whatever. It's not going to have that. So
Right.
I feel like this Guardians line is, and if they price it this high at $300, people are inevitably going to wait for either this to sell out or for it to hit discount, because if they want to pick up a Nebula that badly, they could just pick up the Endgame one, or for really cheap, or just pick up this one once it inevitably is discounted. So I just, the Guardians line, the team suits thing, you're right. The team, I like having a team, but also them each having their own sort of look to them, right? And have them each stand out a little bit. With the team suits, they just kind of all blend together, and it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't look,
I mean, it can definitely look cool, but it's just not my cup of tea. Like these Avengers, they all have individual looks. They all stand out, but you can tell that they're a team. The same thing with the Guardians down here. I don't know if you can make sense, but they all look like a team, but they are just, they're not carbon copies of the same outfit. That's something that Power Rangers does, and they do it well. But I don't know if I want that for my Guardians, man. I think I'm okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Love the movie though.
Yeah, the movie was great.
Yeah, I love the
was
movie.
great.
Love the movie.
I loved it. Well, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below about Nebula. We had an interesting poll running, about 64% right now saying they don't care about Nebula, but we'll see. We'll see when the figure starts getting closer to release, and we will see. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on that one. We got another release rather than an announcement, and I want to bring this one up as the resident Loki fan, probably the biggest Loki fan that I know of in the community, right? In the 1/6 community. I want to bring up this TVA Loki because a lot of people, what they've done, and I've talked to, I think, Javier and some other people about this, they have taken this head sculpt from Loki, which is undeniably the best one that Hot Toys has done so far. And then they put it on the Avengers Endgame Loki body, and it does fit, and it does look pretty good. You cannot use the helmet, though. The helmet will not fit on this head with this hair. That's why Hot Toys made the hair sort of thin like that on the Endgame Loki, because they needed to fit the helmet on it. However, it probably would have just been better to have two separate head sculpts, one helmeted, one not, and it would have probably just made things a lot better. But I still like that Endgame figure. I love it. The head sculpt's still pretty good with the helmet on. That said, TVA Loki has released officially. He's shipping from people from Sideshow, from what I saw. But I'm wondering if people really, really care much, because this is not the iconic Loki. This is a Loki in a suit. The show was pretty popular. I feel like I loved the show. Not everyone loved it, but a lot of people really liked it. But this is not the most exciting Loki on your shelf. That said, Keco, should we care about this Loki? Because, I mean, we have the Endgame Loki out there. I'm sure there will be others. Is this the one to own in this type of outfit? What do you think?
We don't have many other options when it comes to the Loki TV series. I mean, you either get this one, which is pretty much the main look throughout the show, or, the President Loki, which is the other one available. So should we care? Well, apparently people do, because they're both waitlisted on Sideshow. So apparently people did care enough to actually pre-order it. So with that being said, I think they should, because I'll be honest with you, Will.
Yeah.
Knowing this was coming to me, I ended up grabbing Sylvie when I didn't think I was going to, because
really?
I wanted her to go with this. Yeah, because I wanted her to go with this, because I think the sculpt turned out better than I thought it was going to. I mean, we didn't know what was going to happen with after the Endgame debacle, which I don't even think was a debacle, but people like to bitch about everything for no reason. But this is undeniably the older, better looking Tom Hiddleston. That's not the greatest lighting that they got on him right there. It's not very flattering, but he's not too bland, I think. I mean, the variant jacket is cool. It says variant. Between him and Sylvie, I think you can make a really cool display, especially with like the glowing door portal. That's cool. I do like the magic effects. Between him and Sylvie, I think he is the companion piece to Sylvie, which is why I ended up getting Sylvie. I was like, I can't have this Loki, which I already had, and not have Sylvie, because I was like, he by himself, he's bland. Give him something else, and I think he's fire. Because look at that together. I think they look great. So whatever their marketing strategy was for this to get me to get Sylvie, this is what sold me on going back to get her, because I wasn't really. Oh, and you get Miss Minutes, which is fun. So yeah, I think they'll already care, because it's waitlisted. It wouldn't, if people didn't care, it wouldn't be waitlisted. So we'll go from there.
Well, I'm wondering, Keco, if the opposite is true, where people didn't care and that's why it's waitlisted, because no one really pre-ordered it. Like, I'm starting to wonder, because I think, look, that's I think the dilemma that I'm having as a huge Loki fan, because I really like the show.
You'll never know.
We won't. But I thought it was great, Q. I liked the show. I didn't love everything about it. There's some things with Loki's power level and things like that I didn't quite love, but I did love the show overall. And that said, though, I mean, as the diehard Loki fan, if I'm even questioning whether I need this, think about the average collector, right? Who doesn't really they like Loki, right? Whatever. But do they really need this one? Because most people, despite the fact that the head sculpt isn't as good as this one, are probably going to go for Endgame, because Endgame is going to be a lot more unique,
right,
and tailored, and just an exciting outfit on your shelf. This on your shelf with the jacket, it is pretty cool. You can do some cool stuff with the green magic accessories and the sword, but yeah. I don't know. It's just, Javier, I want to let you jump in though. I mean, are collectors going to care about this Loki? Because I just have my doubts, because I think people, how many Lokis are you going to collect? And would this be the one if you can only have one? You know what I mean?
No, for sure. I think people are going to care, but I think it's going to be mainly for that sculpt. That's what I'm doing. We spoke about this the other day. I'm picking up, it just got delivered actually, like a few minutes ago. Nice. I picked up the Endgame Loki, and now I'm just going to be scouring eBay for the head. I just want to pick up the head on this. It is a cool figure, but I guess it's that casual costume that they gave him that I'm not a big fan of. You know, it does look cool. The tailoring looks nice. Um, and just all the accessories that he comes with are incredible. But like that picture that you have on the screen right now, this seems like it's a companion piece to the Sylvie that I think has been the best release that they have had, probably like in the last maybe 3 months. I think that Sylvie, the sculpt is great, the tailoring is great. This is another figure that's going to go incredibly well with that. But I think if people do want to pick this up, it's not going to be for the figure itself. Because you can get, like you said, you can get other really cool Lokis that have this traditional costume with the green cape and everything. This is going to be either for a completionist or someone who's going to part out the figure and just keep the head. That's, I think, what they're going to be doing. That's what I'm going to be doing if I can't get my hands on the individual head. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, yeah, I mean, that's a cool accessory. Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. It looks cool. It looks cool for sure. But I don't know. If I did have to pick one Loki from this entire TV series, it would be the President Loki, just because I think that costume would stand out more than another casual costume just on the shelf, I think. And I guess this goes in line. I'm sorry, but this goes in line almost with that special edition Wenwu.
That's what I was
got.
going to bring up. Yep.
Yeah. To me, the Wenwu is cool when you think of it being as like a 300 limited, right, worldwide.
Right.
But if, let's say, if that was a general release, I would go for the Wenwu with his, movie costume, the fight costume. Same thing with this one. I would prefer and a Loki with, the costume that he uses in other movies, or the President Loki. It just stands out more to me. But man, that head sculpt is really, really good. But like Keco said, this is definitely a companion piece for Sylvie, because that Sylvie figure looks insane.
Right. Well, it's true. And I feel like that's probably why that's definitely why they did that with Wenwu, what they did. They did that because they knew, they were like, this is not going to be one that's mass appeal, right? The other Wenwu, people are going to take that one if you put them side by side on a shelf. But if you make that one limited, make it 300 or whatever, and do a small run of it, you could do that. With this Loki, that's a lot harder to do, just because it's the main character of the show, and it's the main outfit and look and so forth. I always thought all along in the show he was going to get a legitimate outfit, because in the trailers they showed some stuff and I was like, oh, he's going to have like a cool, unique outfit or whatever. It just never happens. So it was very interesting, that I just thought was pretty interesting. But I don't know. For me, I'm tempted with this one, but I'm just going to wait for a discount and see how I feel. But no doubt about it, this is the best head sculpt. I still don't think it's perfect. I still don't think it's the best Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, I think it's the best Tom Hiddleston they've done, but I would still give this probably like an 8.5. Like, I think this is, I mean, I think this is like a good head sculpt, not great. That's how I view it. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good, but I do think it has room for improvement. The only disappointing part is, and it was never intended to be, but you can't put the helmet on for the Avengers Loki. And I feel like for Avengers Loki, that's the look you want, Like, I feel like unless they're going to make him in the other outfit from Avengers, his sort of casual outfit from Avengers, I would love that. That might be, I told Justin today, I was like, that would be a cool like summer exclusive, like Avengers Loki, but it's like the other outfit from the film, with the shorter scepter. I think that would be a pretty cool like exclusive like that. I think that would be a nice.
Is that when he has the black suit and he goes to the gala? Is that
not that? So that would be cool too. But like, so because in Avengers he has two different sort of battle outfits. He has the King Loki outfit with the cape, and then he just has the regular outfit, sort of a little more movable and stuff like that.
Oh,
and he has the shorter scepter. So it's a little bit different of an outfit, and I think that could be something that they tackle. It. They could also tackle Thor 1 Loki, which they never did. They never did Thor 1 Loki, which he has a really cool costume in that film. So I think that would, and you could put a throne with them in that film, from that film. That would be really cool. I think I would go for that, no doubt about it. So I think that could be something they do at some point too. But that's why, like, when you think about, and Loki season 2 is coming, maybe he gets an actual outfit in season 2, like, and then at that point, and maybe a better head sculpt even. So it just, Loki season 2 is coming this year, right? So I mean, that figures a little, obviously 2 years. Yeah, that figures probably 2 years from now. But at the same time, it's like, is this Loki iconic enough for you to dive in? That's the question.
I feel that you saying if it's iconic enough, I think for a fan of the show, it would be, because this is the Loki that it's a variant, right? It's not the one that we recognize. So if you do want to have two versions of him, this would be a pretty iconic one. The show was great, right? So I think this, and if you're thinking about the most iconic one for the show, I would go with this one, not the President Loki then, if that's like a question. But yeah,
but you're right. You're both right with Sylvie. I mean, it does look great with Sylvie.
Yeah, no, damn. Yeah, this looks really, really good. That's crazy. I think the sculpt is a 10 out of 10 personally. I
Really?
really, really like
I
this.
think I'm
Yeah.
in the minority on that. I think most people would agree. I think most people think this, even at the
Mhm.
time when it was announced, people were like, this head sculpt's amazing. And I was like, it's pretty good. Like but
Yeah.
it's definitely the best one. It's the best one. I will say that.
You know which sculpt I'm worried about? The President Loki one because it's a smiling sculpt. I'm a little bit worried. I hope that
Yeah.
they do the smile well.
I feel like,
But
yeah, I
It
should have picked up the
should be
President Loki
good.
exclusive.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool exclusive.
What's
But
up, Keco?
I was saying it should be good. The thing that like was so
Mhm.
jarring to us about the Ant-Man is that was never shown originally. It was just kind of
Right.
teased. And so when it was put in the box, you're like, oh shit, what is this? But they've shown us that
Right, right.
they can do the teeth well on the prototype. So
Mhm.
hopefully, fingers crossed that worked out.
yeah, yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on that topic. I think we did get one super chat earlier, so I have to find it, but bear with me. DJN, thank you so much, bro. $2 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Though Guardians of the Galaxy 3 figs he said he thought Guardians of the Galaxy was going to get the end game treatment. I mean, I guess they pretty much did. I mean, they got the team suits, I think team suits work for a film, but as far as merchandising and creating figures and stuff like that, I'm starting to wonder if like maybe team suits just are not the move. Like they're just maybe Marvel will figure that out eventually. Like we're not selling as many toys with the team suits, right? Not just Hot Toys, but any scale, Marvel Legends, whatever. So I don't know. We'll see. DJN, thank you so much, bro, for the super chat. Appreciate you. But that would be what I would say. And yeah, I would say, yeah, the Loki head sculpt's like an 8.5 or so. So yeah. Anyway, guys, again, thank you for your thoughts on that one. There's some, and these guys know there's so many cool topics that we have on the docket that I really want to talk about, but there are a couple things I do want to bring up actually. And this is, again, I want people to hear me out on this one because this is an exciting release for some. The J&D Studios 1/3 scale Christopher Reeves Superman. This is a statue that actually already sold out. With J&D, it's always super interesting because they always say, oh, it's sold out in 4 hours or whatever, but then it sits on Spec Fiction for like 2 months, right? Or 6 months or longer. You can still get it. But it's like they sell out to the retailers and they sell out to some collectors, but they count it as overall sold out. So, and it sells out really quickly. So it like kind of creates this hype. But if you're in the States, you can find it at Comic Concepts. You can find it at Spec. You can find it other places. Javier just disappeared. And you can find it at other places. But, I want to ask the question, is it good enough, Keco? There he is. He's back. He's back. So I want to ask the question, is it good enough? This statue retails, Keco, if you did not see, for about $2,500, $2,400, $2,500. I think it's $2,400, right? So, and then you got the 2-pack one, which I'll show, which I believe is $3,600. So this is 1/3 scale. It's the Christopher Reeve Superman. You get the Clark Kent as well. I actually think the Clark Kent is an even better likeness, but I'm starting to come around to the Christopher Reeves Superman one as well. Keco, what do you think? Is it good enough for the price?
For that price, no chance in hell. No chance in hell.
Mm.
There is, if you go back to the actual Clark Kent one, that looks like
Yeah.
Christopher Reeves. I feel like that is no doubt about who that is right there. That looks really good. The smirk, everything, the tailoring, great. Going back to the Superman one, for $2,500, I mean, it's not like you're having a giant thing of hair that you have to do. I mean, you just got to get a 1970s haircut essentially. From that does not look like who I thought it would be. There is, I see. I need to be careful what I say, but that is not Christopher Reeves to me. I think the tailoring on the suit looks awesome. I think the body looks great. It's the face. It's the face. I am a little concerned about like the crotch seam. There's like a noticeable line in the panties. That one's odd to me. If you go back up and see that,
Yeah,
there's like a noticeable line like right where the dick should be, and I'm at least on that one.
Yeah, you can kind of see a little bit right there, but
yeah, that's
not
a
too bad.
strange thing. But for the price, I understand 1/3 statues are big, but if you go this route, I feel like you have to have them both. Just because why? For the price, man, you're gonna have to really wow me, and I just think for that price, that's not close. And I'm not that person. Granted, people are going to flame me because I said, close enough, blah, 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 InArt, blah, blah. Well, for that cost, $2,500, $3,000, you have to be almost perfect. You have to be. A $600 six scale figure, you got some wiggle room. A $200, $300 six scale figure, you got a lot of wiggle room. But for this better be a split image, and this just isn't.
Right. I will say, like, the more I look at it, I'm like, this is pretty damn good. I do think the Superman is not perfect, but I'd still give it like an 8.5 head sculpt. The Clark Kent, I'm with you, Keco. It could just be that the glasses cover a lot of the face, right? But it looks really good. I think this is one that I think they did a really good job on. And like you said, the smirk, it's really cool. I mean, I've never owned a J&D statue. I've heard a lot of QC issues. I've heard a lot of QC issues of breakages.
It's silicone, isn't it?
Yeah, the silicone, but not even that part. It's like the legs and the magnets and stuff like that. And then getting replacement parts is pretty difficult from what I hear. So if you buy from certain retailers or whatever, like I've just heard it's challenging. Like if you have an issue, like it's frustrating. And there seem to have been a lot of issues I've seen, but there's also been a lot of collectors who had no problems. But Javier, I want to ask you the same question. Is this Superman good enough here from J&D? Because J&D gets a lot of hype for every release. And I do think this one's pretty damn good. I guess it just depends on what you're collecting. What do you think?
I saw a comment that Sal just made a few seconds ago, and I gotta agree with him. It's good, but it's not $2,500 good. I do think that this Clark Kent version, I do like the sculpt. This to me looks incredible. I like you said, you can tell immediately who this is. I do think though that Superman is a little bit. It's good, like it's not bad, but for 1/3 scale, the price kind of ticks me off. And I mean, Shiny also made a really good comment where, they said that J&D's pretty hit and miss sometimes, where sometimes a lot of their prototypes or even just then their final products can just be hit or miss. Their Harley is okay, their Arwen is really bad.
Yeah,
and then even then, I think they made a Heath Ledger Joker recently, right? Or maybe a few years back that.
Yeah,
I believe
it's okay.
Carlos owns it. It's nice. It's nice. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it is incredible artwork, but just for the price, I would probably want something that's, like Keco said, a lot more very like accurate, right? Something that I can put on a shelf or on a display, and then that be a main piece, right? It's a 1/3 scale. This to me, I wouldn't pick it up. I would consider though this if Hot Toys makes it in 1/6 scale. If they make another Christopher Reeve, yeah. For sure, this would be cool. If InArt does a Christopher Reeve 2-pack with these two specific looks, I think that would be great. So long as they don't take 5 years for it. But going back to this, I don't see this being worth the amount of money that they're asking for. Well, I do think it looks cool. I don't think I would be picking this up. I mean, that was almost like, I don't know, like 2,500. And I'm sorry, what was the 2-pack again? 30.
It's like 3,500. Yeah, something
35.
Like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, for that amount, I would definitely want almost, not a 7 out of this for me is 7 out of 10 for the Superman, maybe a 9 out of 10 for the Clark Kent. I would want, definitely 9s all around, basically, at the very least. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, it looks cool though. I do like it. But again, the J&D being hit or miss is a little jarring for what they're asking for. Base is cool, stance is cool, design, everything. I love it. The pose on Clark Kent looks incredible, the smirk, but yeah, I think I'm passing on that.
Have they released a video shaming you for not liking it yet?
Not yet. That'll be coming in the near future, I'm sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that'll be coming. And I apologize, Mike, for spelling Christopher Reeves wrong. So I apologize. I'm not a huge Superman film from this film. I've probably seen it when I was younger. It's been a long time, but I don't really recall. So yeah, I'm not the biggest Superman guy. There hasn't been a Superman film yet that I've been really crazy about. So I'm hoping James Gunn can change that. We'll see. But yeah, I guess it really just depends. That said, we did get a super chat, so I guess I want to bring that one up because it relates to the topic. This is a Carlos. Thank you so much. I guess it's all relative on income and what scale you collect. I've shown $300 to $500 figures, and people said it better be perfect for the price. That is a fair point. That is a fair point. And I guess it just depends sort of on who you're talking to. And, because you talk to non-collectors and they say, oh, $300 is a ton. So yeah, I get that. And it is the best Christopher Reeves you can get in 1/3 scale. So, if that's the case, yeah, it totally makes sense. But, I don't know. I guess
I'll
we're
wait for the InArt version. I'll just wait for the InArt version.
Which I'm assuming they probably will do it at some point. But yeah, it's
2089.
I mean, look, I'm waiting for J&D to do the right character for me because I would love to pick up a J&D, but they haven't done a character yet that other than the Joker, the Heath Ledger Joker, but I don't feel that came out that great. It's okay, but it's good, but I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't for me exactly. So I ended up going with the quarter scale Queen Studios. But I don't know. They got to do if they do Aragorn and they do it really well, I'll look at it and consider it. But I'll probably just wait for the InArt, like Keco said.
Well, that's a really good point actually, because for this Christopher Reeve Superman, I really think if you're a hardcore fan, right, and you
Right.
want to collect this in third scale, you want a really incredible piece. I think this is one of the very few that's not 1/6, right, for Christopher Reeve, right? Like a bigger scale. Do they have anything else similar to this?
Yeah, I mean they have the Henry Cavill Superman they're doing, and they
Yeah.
have a bunch of other DC stuff that they've done. Of course, they have Arwen, but they
Right.
don't have.
Wait. No, I mean like for a Christopher Reeve Superman
Oh, for
representation. Is
third
there
scale,
anything?
well, Sideshow
Yeah.
did quarter scale. I don't know that
Okay.
anyone's done third scale.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
this could be a great piece to pick up though for a hardcore Christopher Reeve Superman. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
I
no
mean,
doubt
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Well,
this
it's
would be an
funny
incredible piece.
because Javier, that's a really good point because I was having a conversation with another collector today who I won't name, but someone who's in the community, and he said to me, he was like, seeing this J&D makes me want to pick up the Sideshow. And I was like, that's really bad, actually. I was like, that's not a good sign, right? But I do think overall J&D did a really good job here. Like I'm not here to shit on their work here because they do amazing work, and this
Mhm.
looks, I think, really good. Look, I'm not the biggest Christopher Reeve guy, but you are right, Anthony. I mean, it's there is something to be said for Superman fans. It clearly sold out apparently pretty quickly.
Mhm.
So, and I do think they did a really great job here. It's just a matter of, do you collect statues in that scale and do you want to spend that much?
Right.
Yeah. In this economy, like I said, it's tough. It's tough. So, but you're right. That's a good point. You're looking at the market for Christopher Reeve stuff. This is
Mhm.
has a unique spot in the market. So,
Yeah, if you want that main event piece in your collection and you want it to be Christopher Reeve, this is perfect for you.
right. Yeah, it is. Maybe they'll do Loki one day, and then I'll change my mind. I'll change my tune. As long as it's not TVA Loki, they were good. That's probably the one they would do watch. So yeah, thank you
You
guys
need
so
that
much.
Avengers.
I know, dude, Avengers. Well, because Queen at one point was going to do a half scale Loki, and I think it was going to be Avengers, but then they were like, yeah, we're not doing half scale anymore because the economy. I hate to keep bringing that
Mhm.
up, but that's what it is. Like, even the Captain America half scale, I don't think did as well as they would have hoped. So I think half scale is just kind of off the table right now. So yeah, we shall see. That said, guys, I want to bring up some other cool stuff that we have going on here. And one of them being actually Crosshair. So it's not a show if we don't bring up a Star Wars hot toy, right? We got to bring up a Star Wars hot toy. That's just Star Wars is all the rage right now. I mean, all facts, no printer. That's what the kids care about, bro. They care about Crosshair. Keco, I want to ask you, will collectors complete the Bad Batch line? Because you got some cool looking figures here, but personally for me, I've not watched Bad Batch, and I'm interested to see if you and other collectors care about this Crosshair. What do you think? How's it looking so far?
It's looking incredible so far. And Will, it shames me the fact that I guess, deciding what you want to pick and watch and not choosing the Bad Batch over some of the other things that you've put in front of you, that's shameful to me, because I feel, and I've been adamant about this, that the Bad Batch is some of the best Star Wars that's ever been created, not just from a visual, but from the storytelling arcs that they've done. And anybody in the comments, I will defend that till the day I die, is the Bad Batch is some good ass Star Wars content, mainly because of this bitch right here, Crosshair. He is, I feel, one of the best complete characters in all of Star Wars. Now you see here, this is him before he defects to the Empire, essentially. And he didn't really defect. I mean, he was given the option after Order 66, join up or die, type of thing. So his character arc is so good. And what they are doing with him still, the fact that, is he going to do a heroic, spoiler at this point, is he going to end up doing some heroic thing to win back, the trust of his brothers and, do something to put him back in good graces? Or will he die an anti-hero type of thing? Because what goes on with Crosshair is so good, especially, as I said, when he commits war crimes. I know that sounds terrible, but his war crime type stuff as an Imperial is pretty fire. But let's talk about the figures, okay? They have done something I didn't think they were going to be able to do properly. This, as you can see with these 3 head sculpts, are 3 actual artistically styled versions of cartoons, all in the likeness of Tamir Morrison, which I think that deserves a clap. because this is something that you don't really see them do, because outside of the Ahsoka, and this is kind of where they've really pushed the boundaries on animated to life pieces. They nailed it with Echo. He was the first one. Then Hunter came, and I think they nailed that one too. And this one, they nailed it again. Even giving him the toothpick, which is so cool. It's the gunmetal gray. We've talked about that. But will collectors complete the Bad Batch? That's the question we're asking. Well, yeah, why wouldn't you at this point? They've done Tech, they've done Wrecker. So we know they're coming. So why wouldn't you complete the 5? Here is where it gets interesting, though, is because Crosshair is waitlisted on Sideshow. They did the Sideshow reveal, and you know how that usually means they're going to be coming soon. This came out about a whole quarter and a half early. So this was a little bit unexpected that this came so soon. That's awesome. I love product being out. You know, way to go, Hot Toys, okay? InArt, step your game up. Let's work on that. So with that being said, what is interesting is that apparently, from what I'm being told, and Will, I think you've been told as well, Hot Toys only released a very limited amount of these overseas, which is why the price on them is very, very high. I don't know the strategy behind that. Is this a timed release that they'll do more of, or are they really cutting back on their production numbers? Because this is one I would not expect you to cut back on production numbers, because it is a named clone, and it's a clone. So that's like checks 2 boxes. So, and it's Star Wars, that checks 3 boxes. So why would you not do a fair run of these? Because they're going to sell. This one's interesting to me. So if you are on the list and you want this one, you better join the wait list on Sideshow if that's where you get them, or start running down where you want to get it, because it made me rethink about where I'm going to get Tech and Wrecker from, because currently they're both available on Sideshow and they're not waitlisted yet. Do you want to take a chance on getting all 3 of them and then missing the other 2? That could be problematic. So maybe the original ones with Echo and Hunter, maybe those were easy to get, and these last 3 are going to be a little more challenging. I hope not. So if you're a Bad Batch fan like me, I'm making sure that I do what I have to make sure that I complete the line. So I will go and pre-order these to make sure, because it's a figure I want. It's not we'll wait and see, bargain bin it, blah, blah, blah. These are ones I want. Last thing I'll say, I'm actually about to start panicking and eating my words, because I told you that the waitlist games from Sideshow were just games. Nothing has come back in yet that been waitlisted. I'm waiting for those clones to come. They never came. I'm waiting for all these things to happen. Help me, somebody. Did we gamble and lose on some of these figures? This is one I'm not willing to gamble on.
We'll see, Keco, and you know who just hit waitlist recently was Cad Bane.
I know. So, that's another one. And
yeah, and that's a huge one. That's not just any figure. That's Cad Bane we're talking about, that I think people are really excited for. I know I am. That was one of the best sellers on the Sideshow website for a long time, and the deluxe and the collector's edition both hit waitlist and has not come back over the last day or so. So yeah, it's something to factor in and it's monitored. But Anthony, Javier, what do you think, bro? I mean, will collectors complete the Bad Batch line? Is Keco crazy with his Wrecker and Tick, or is he on?
That was actually very good.
That was good. That was good.
Keco's the one who taught me that, so I picked it up from him.
I'm not attempting at all. But to go answer your question, I do think people will want to collect the line. There's something very incredible when Hot Toys completes a line. So why wouldn't you want to complete and finish the whole 5 members of the Bad Batch, right? I only watched season 1, and I've heard good things of season 2, but this to me, their looks in season 1 are my favorite looks for them. I know they got different costumes right in season 2, and those look cool too, but the black, the gunmetal black red color scheme for the 5 of them is incredible. And I was tempted on starting this line back when Hunter was released, because Hunter looked incredible, Echo looked incredible, and then they started announcing Crosshairs, Wrecker, Tech. So to me, if you're a big fan of this line and this show, I would 100% go for all 5 of them. It's rare that Hot Toys can complete a full line, and it's rare that they execute them incredibly well all around, right? For all 5 of these, from based on the prototype for Tech and Wrecker. But I do want to say that I am tempted. I have a specific lineup on how I collect my figures and who I'm buying and everything. You see, there's only Marvel here, but when the photos came out for Crosshairs, because I'm so focused on what I'm getting, I told myself I'm not going to look at them. I'm not going to tempt myself. But you clicking through the sideshow right now, just right now, and all these pictures, I am like, oh my god, this figure looks incredible. And man, and I'm just a fan of like this
Because they're
character.
all unique and they're so
Yeah,
cool.
They
They're
do look good together. I
yeah,
will
unique
they
but
say.
look really
cohesive.
good. Exactly. And at the same time, though, I liked his character a lot in season 1 of the Bad Batch. You know, the defective clone in a way where, you know, like Keco said, he could have gone with them, but he chose not to, right? Even though, you know, he was able to make
Because
that
good soldiers
decision.
follow orders.
There you
Well-
go. But what's up?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, Javier, this is one situation where Marvel can take a bit of a note from Star Wars. This is how you do team suits, bro. Because
Yeah.
this is different. Each one is pretty similar, but uniquely different in its own way. And you have a team that looks cohesive, but also you different and cool, and it gives you a little bit of visual creativity and appeal there and intrigue.
Exactly.
When they all have the same team suit, it just looks kind of But with this, it looks cool, bro. It looks cool.
You know, you bring up a good point. Out of the Avengers team suits, right?
Yeah.
Tony, Cap, Hawkeye, Ant-Man all share the same costume in the movie. The ones that look cool to me is that War Machine, because it's part of the team suit, but it looks different.
Yep.
All right. And even then, that Hulk, you know, he just looks like a bigger version. I know lots of people aren't fans of that, but that design to me looks a lot better because it's different from that. Kiko's in that sort of.
He was like, yeah, maybe.
But,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe. But that War Machine to me is like lots of people even customize their own War Machine Mark
all
6
white
to
War
get
Machine is
that
pretty
look.
sick.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, just, you know, to fare off in that direction. But going back to this, yeah, man, I think if you're a fan of this franchise, if you're a fan of this show, you need to complete the line. You know, you're not going to have many complete lines in Star Wars from Hot Toys. And if this is one of the few that you're going to get, yeah, man, go ahead, get all of them. They all look great. I'm tempted. And again, what they're doing with, you know, turning animated to realism, I know some people aren't fans of that. They would prefer the animated sculpts, but to me, for this to blend in with the rest of your collection, I think it's a necessary, you know, thing that they had to do, and they're doing it well, in my opinion. You know, while you know that I think this looks good. I really do, and man, I am so tempted
Awesome.
to look at them because I think Rekka was the one that had that picture with the 5 of them lined up, and he was, I think, in the middle. And man, that looks so good. That looks so good. Even
Yeah.
Tech looks great with all his accessories and the different. Yeah, man, this is a cool line. But I don't know if I do pick up Star Wars figures, if this would be the 5 that I go for. I feel like there are more iconic characters, but this looks cool. So,
You're not going to
so I
find
don't know.
cooler characters, I can tell you that.
Not cooler characters.
Kiko, now you're tripping, bro. Now
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
tripping.
Cooler,
I think Darth Vader,
Cool,
Obi-Wan,
Darth
Anakin,
Vader,
I mean,
battle damage.
you're not going
Cad
to get
Bane.
5 together that look cooler.
Yeah,
is what I'm
maybe,
saying.
but I mean,
I accept
let's say
that.
you had 5 Star Wars figures. You had Battle Damage Vader, you had Cad Bane, you had Mando, Luke Skywalker, and someone
Kenobi.
else. Like that would
General
be
Kenobi.
probably better. I think that would be cooler. But this is
Yeah,
cool.
man.
This is cool. Don't get me wrong. I've not watched Bad Batch, so but I do think they look cool. If I'm just talking about how they look aesthetically, I
Mhm.
think they look cool together. So I think
Yeah.
this could pop on a shelf. But
Kiko,
I've not watched the
really
show.
quick. Sorry, really quick question,
go ahead.
Kiko. Was season 2 better than season 1? Because I'll be honest, season 1 was all right to me.
Okay, so there was 18 episodes. We've talked about this, why we were mad about Mando because they wasted time. There was
Yep.
18 episodes in season 2, so you could dick around on a couple of them. So there was because it's technically a kid show, so they had a few
Okay.
Monster Quest things where, hey, let's chase Omega through the Spider Mountain, you know, things like that. Like,
Okay.
okay, fine. But when they did the serious ones, like every Crosshair episode was like 12 out of 10. It was on the edge
Really?
of your seat. It was dark. It was gritty. And great storytelling. But yeah, there was probably 3 or 4 like, what the fuck am I watching type of things. But it's fine because you had 18 episodes, so you could waste a
Okay.
couple of them so that you could advance some stories and build some, because the Omega episodes counted because it built more camaraderie between her and Wrecker and her and Tech and things like that.
Mhm.
So that way when things ultimately come to a head, there's some substance and some content there. So
Right.
Cool. All right,
Yeah,
cool. Good to
that
know.
makes
Thank
sense.
you.
Well, guys, I gotta ask the question because there's some cool philosophical topics that we have, available to us for this fine evening, and we're gonna try to get to some of them. That said, there is one that I want to ask you guys. Name one Hot Toys figure on pre-order that is being slept on. And I'm going to bring up some photos here, just so we have a little bit of a frame of reference, right? Because I just put up the bestsellers. So from the Batman, obviously, Keco may have been right.
Huge. That's it.
It's waitlisted, but people are sleeping on it, I guess, a little bit. Are people sleeping on Spider-Man 2099? Apparently, he's one of the best sellers. This is the first time I've seen this. That really shocks me.
That is some fake news.
That I feel like that's got to be fake news, bro. Mantis, the waitlist, Mantis, the Wonder Woman. There's some really good ones out there. Carnage is still on pre-order technically. Cad Bane waitlisted. We got the WandaVision Wanda, Toby Spider-Man. There's a lot of good ones out there. C-3PO, She-Hulk is waitlisted. Doc Ock. So guys, is there a figure that you can think of that people are sleeping on a little bit? Keco, what do you think? I mean, is there a Hot Toys figure that that you think is going to be really, really great that people maybe just aren't paying close enough attention to?
Well, you saw the Batman. I mean, that obviously the Batman, not the Midman version or whatever, but my Blue Bale Batman.
Yeah,
that is the one I think that people are going to be upset they didn't get. But in all seriousness, there's been a lot that I think obviously go up for pre-order that people don't care about. But the one I think you have to decide on whether it's going to be, because if you're a Star Wars fan, no one's going to care about the Marvel stuff. If you're a Marvel fan, you're not going to care about the Star Wars stuff. So can I give you two from each or one from each? Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So if you're a Marvel fan, I think you're going to regret potentially not jumping on Mantis. I think just because that is, once you take the holiday stuff off, that is the Mantis from three different movies. I think she looks incredible. I mean, that is what people have been clamoring for to finish their shelf. She's currently waitlisted, and I think that that's the missing piece in your Guardians display. Not Drax, Mantis. Because everyone can have the empty shelf and be like, oh, there's Drax. He's just standing so still. I hate that joke. That's one of the ones I hate the most. But I think Mantis is one that slept on because I think a lot of people don't realize you can take the holiday stuff off. And you get this one right here. I think that was a interesting way to market it by putting it in the holiday special, giving it the Christmas decorations. Yeah, that's cool. But take the stuff off, and that's the real Mantis that everyone had been wanting for. It had been demoed and put in all kinds of conventions, and we'd shown previews of it for a long time. To actually have it come out, that's going to be a good one. I think that's the one for me for Marvel. But for Star Wars, I don't think anyone's sleeping on it, but I think the Costco is going to be good with Mercedes / Sasha Banks. I think the Costco is going to be good, but no one's sleeping on that one. Everyone knows that's going to be good. But the one I think they are going to be kicking themselves for is going to be the Grand Inquisitor, I think, because I think he's cool. I think he looks awesome. And I think that's the one for me. Not Reva, but the Grand Inquisitor.
Not Reva. Yeah, he got waitlisted. So, yeah, but I think it's because people, in fact, did sleep on him. I think that's exactly what happened. I think that's what happened with Reva, too. They were just like, I don't really care about Reva. I don't really care about Grand Inquisitor. Let's just not pre-order. And then Sideshow was like, well, we're not going to buy a bunch of these then. So, that's pretty much what happened. So, yeah, I mean, it could be. I just think he has kind of a blank expression, and the character didn't get to do much. He does look kind of cool, but he didn't really get to do much.
Because this is a character that transcends more than just the Obi-Wan. I understand people don't like the representation of the way he looks. Maybe there's going to be some third-party head out there that you can swap it out for. But he transcends a lot of media, from Clone Wars and Rebels and, things like that in the video games. I mean, the Grand Inquisitor is around, Reva isn't. So as cool as the Reva sculpt is, I think the Grand Inquisitor is the one, man.
And you know what? Actually, I was watching clips again the other day. You know what? And this is going to actually make someone I know in the chat happy. Moon Knight. Moon Knight is a figure that I think people are sleeping on because it doesn't have an Oscar Isaac head sculpt, and I think that's part of the problem for people. I think people really want that Oscar Isaac head sculpt. I will say, if you look at the figure itself, though, it's great. And then Moon Knight show is kind of like, I thought it was a good show. I thought it had some really good acting in it, right?
That last episode was whack, though.
Yeah, maybe
where the giant kaijus are fighting in the pyramids. That's so weird.
Right. But there is some cool stuff.
What?
I think the acting from Oscar Isaac, especially when he finds out what happened with his mom and stuff, I think that is just some of the best Marvel acting I've seen thus far. And that's really the scene that really got me. So I actually am planning to pick up this Moon Knight figure. I think it's really great. The base is huge.
I've got it on pre-order, yeah.
Yeah, this base is huge. So people are gonna have to factor that into your equation. And he does still look pretty good, even if you don't have the eyes lit up. I saw some video of him. They have it painted white, so it still looks pretty good. Looks better with the eyes lit up, but still looks good, right? I think this is one that people are sleeping on. I think Moon Knight was a pretty good show, not 10 out of 10, but I thought it was like an 8. I liked it, and I love the character, and I love to see what's going to come next from him. And Oscar Isaac was great. His acting performance was phenomenal. So I'm going to say Moon Knight. Javier, what do you think? Is there a figure out there that you think people are sleeping on?
Before I go into mine, I gotta agree with yours. I just
Yeah.
canceled my pre-order for Moon Knight, and I regret it. Like I just canceled it, and I'm being more selective on what I'm picking up, and
Right.
I'm trying to keep my collection to less than 65 figures or 65 figures max. So
Yeah.
because I'm doing that, I had to, cut some figures out. But this one I think is something I'm gonna end up regretting once I see all the pictures. And when Keco posts his pictures, I'm gonna be kicking myself and
Mhm.
regretting it really badly. But I personally think can I do a franchise as well?
Yeah,
Two.
absolutely, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I think that
Your show, man.
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
I think that RoboCop looks incredible. I think it's one that's kind of almost like a classic timeless figure that people are going to be trying to get down the road. I think this looks incredible. I know it's based off of RoboCop 3, but man, this is a
That's
diecast
still
figure.
RoboCop though.
It's still
But
a
it's
great
still
figure.
RoboCop. Yeah, it's RoboCop, and this is his classic look in a way, right? It's not like any of the new remakes that they keep doing. This is almost that you can call it a timeless figure, because of the design. And man, it being diecast, it being everything that it comes with, I think this is something that I didn't see a lot of hype for when it came out. Maybe for like the first few days that it was announced in that summer showcase, but other than that, I don't really see people clamoring for it. But every single time I see a picture of a RoboCop figure, though, from the previously released ones, it just looks incredible. And this, now having Hot Toys' updated engineering, updated paint apps, updated, just everything all around, I think this is going to be a figure that lots of people are going to be like, oh man, like I should have picked this up before I couldn't pick it up anymore. It's on wait list right now.
Yeah. Look at
This
that,
is
bro.
something
That
that
looks
I
dope.
feel, yeah, no, this looks incredible, and again, when I was going willy-nilly with the amount of pre-orders I could get, this was something I was heavily considering putting on my shelf. And again, looking at more pictures of it, this is something that I know is going to be tempting, but I got to stay strong. I got to stay really strong.
I didn't know it came with
And
an extra faceplate.
it comes with an extra face.
Well, yeah, he's grimacing. He's got the teeth showing in that
Ooh,
photo.
nice.
I didn't notice that until
Nice,
right
nice,
now.
nice. That's not part of the
They don't have a
exclusive
final
accessory,
photo.
right?
Yeah, they don't have a photo that shows all the accessories,
Show
unfortunately.
the one where he was with the knife. He's got a different faceplate, the bottom faceplate.
Yeah, see that? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
No, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Because he's
That's
got
cool.
a regular one there and then a different one there. Yeah.
Right.
Sick.
Now this looks like a good figure to me. So this is, I think, one sleeper
call, bro.
outside. Yeah, no, this one I think is something that it just looks incredible. And the other one that I think, leaning into Marvel, because I really can't speak for Star Wars. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so I won't dip my toes into somewhere where I don't really fully understand that. But I do think that Dead Strange is something that I just think
Ooh, that's a good one
looks
too.
badass.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right? But because of the price and because of how big it is, I feel lots of people aren't picking this one up. But this looks insane. I know people are, hit or miss on the movie. I liked it, but again,
10
this
out
is
of
another
10
piece
for
that
me.
really, I mean, I liked it. I liked it.
Because it was
Not
Wanda.
a 10 out of
That's
10.
why.
Because of who? Because of who?
Because of
It's
Wanda.
Wanda.
Because of Wanda.
That's why.
Nah, man. But yeah, this is another figure though that on the Marvel side that I think people are sleeping on. I mean, again, this is what you could call a one-off because it was only in one scene. I don't think we're ever going to see it again. But this one is something that has a presence. It's an iconic scene from the specific movie, I would say. And I just think the details and the work that Hot Toys put in it looks incredible. You have different looks. You can pose it with the wings. You can pose it without. You can pose it with those arms around it. The 6 arms that go around. I think there's a picture of one of those. But yeah, and again, I just think this was a good looking figure. Yeah, I think it's one of the. I think it's the next picture to the left.
Oh, to the left? Yeah, with the
Yeah,
arms
right
going
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know you could do that. You could even take the arms and make it like a
Mhm.
base. Is that what
And
that
then
is?
you could do it like that too. Yeah.
Exactly. That to me looks really cool. I think this is one that people are going to be sleeping on because it's not, your mainstream Doctor Strange, but this is something that I think looks really cool and could stand out on the shelf. This, I don't know. This is another one that I would it would be my pick for something that's being slept on.
I think this has a lot of shelf presence, no doubt about it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a 385. I think that scares people off a little bit, but you are getting a lot with the arms and the
Right.
skeletons and stuff like that. I mean, it is a pretty dope looking figure, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So
And what's great about it is too, if you've seen the pictures of the prototype, this is not like some cardboard cutout for the wings. It's not any of that. It's like they've gone into it, they've engineered it, they've done really well on the wings. And every single time I see a showcase for it and they show the prototype, it looks insane. I don't know. I think it looks really, really cool. They didn't cheap out on any part of this figure. So I'm a fan.
yeah, this looks dope. I will say though, for all those people who said Pennywise was too scary to buy, if you buy this, then you are a
This is,
hypocrite
yeah.
because this is just as freaky as a Pennywise figure, if not more so. Look, I mean, his face is torn in half. He's got skeletons coming out of him. Like, this is an intense figure. That's it, guys. Great choices on that one. Excellent. So let us know in the comments below what you think about slept on figures for pre-order and see if there's anything that we could find commonalities with. That said, guys, we have time for one more topic. And I want to ask the question here. What figure do you regret either passing on and or selling? Right? And obviously, an example for me would be, of course, the Dark Side Anakin figure that I had and then rebought because I really love that figure and I really love that version of the character. Revenge of the Sith is, I think, one of the best Star Wars films. I really love it. The other prequel 2 films I'm not crazy about, but I really love Revenge of the Sith. I think that's a great one that they really hit their stride on. But that Dark Side Anakin's a fantastic figure, as is the Light Side Anakin. Really, that's a great figure too. They're both really, really great. But the Dark Side with the base, with the head sculpt, all that stuff. There's also one other figure that I'm either going to wait for another 2.0 or whatever, or go searching for at some point. And this is another figure I sold because I got top dollar for it at the time. Someone gave me $500 for it. I was like, cool, let's do it. Right. This is a figure that I do kind of miss. It's this one. This is a really, really good figure. This is Alec Guinness Obi-Wan from A New Hope, and it's, I think, one of the best Hot Toys head sculpts that I've ever seen in person. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's great. I think this is an iconic Obi-Wan, obviously, from the first Star Wars film, Episode 4. So I would love to get this one back in my collection at some point. So it's one figure that I regret selling, right? Not necessarily passing on, but I passed it on to another collector. That said, Keco, is there any figure you regret passing on, like you didn't pre-order or buy, and now it's expensive, or that you sold at some point? You know, what do you think? What figure do you kind of want in your collection that you miss?
I actually had to pull up my spreadsheet because there's not
you just buy what you want, bro. That's why.
That too, and there's not like any that I miss because I usually get the ones I want. But I did sell something that you can't readily get anymore that I do wish I had. When I did my DC purge and I got rid of a lot of the things, like when I got rid of the Justice League, I'm like, there's no need for me to have these because I came into them. My buddy gave them to me essentially. You know, I kept them for a little while and I was like, I just don't need all these things. I was getting too crazy with the DC stuff, and Batman's pretty much the only thing that I keep with. So as I built out my more Batman stuff, there was one figure that I had sold from that initial lot of Batman pieces that I do wish I had back. And that's Batman Arkham Knight, the one that can transition into Red Hood as well as, you know, just Arkham Knight as well. It's it's such a unique thing to where it's like a little bit of, you know, space battle type, you know, robot looking thing. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's not your typical Batman figure, which is why I moved it on, but I do miss it. And I think for what you get, it's pretty cool. It's extremely posable. And when you can switch him over to Red Hood, because you literally just make him red or blue, I think the Red Hood stuff looks really, really cool. And that's the one that I miss, man.
Yeah, that's a unique looking Batman. I got to say, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's a very unique, sort of almost like Iron Man looking Batman.
Like Iron Man versus RoboCop type thing.
Yeah.
But if there was a way to do like a 2.0, here I'm talking about that stuff. I wish they would make it USB powered because they were a bitch. The little lights that go on in the head are very hard to see, and you're only getting like 5 minutes worth of lights out of it anyway. So that's my only complaint about it.
Okay. Well, Javier, bro, what do you think, bro? What's the figure that you regret either passing on or selling? What do you regret most?
I think there's two that come to mind, but it's weird because for me, I sold them. I don't have them anymore. I mean, I have one of them is Ragnarok Loki. And to me, I remember I sold that figure and bought that figure and sold that figure and bought that figure and sold it 3 times and rebought it 3 times. I'm about to sell it now for a 4th time because now I got the Endgame version. And the same thing could be said for the Infinity War Captain America. To me, I bought that figure and sold it like 3 times all over. And so then I got the stealth suit version, you know. So I don't have it on display yet, but you know, it's in storage right now, the stealth suit. But these are figures to me that I just really enjoyed the movie. And to me, they were the first versions of these characters that I got. So they held a special place in my collection. I couldn't let them go. And then when I did, I wanted them back. You know, and this Loki was cool. And this Loki, I mean, I still have it over here. It's definitely one of the costumes that represent Loki, but is more like a slim version of it. Like you can tell it's Loki, but it's like I guess not as big as the Endgame one. The head sculpt isn't all that good. But to me, this was something that I just kept on gravitating back to. And while I don't regret getting the Endgame version now and replacing it with, I'm going to end up selling this. This is something that, you know, I have fond memories of, and I can be like, yeah, this is a cool pickup, and I appreciate having it in my collection and stuff. But definitely, you know, I remember for the first time I sold it to my friend, Ben Hoffman. And he was, you know, he has the figure, he enjoys it, and he always sends me pictures with his full Marvel collection, and it looks so cool. And then I think after one picture that he sent me, how everything just looked, I was like, yeah, I was like, I'm picking this up again, and I rebought it. Same thing for this Captain America. There's something about the proportions on this specific cap that I just appreciate more so than the stealth suit cap, than the 10-year anniversary like all black one. I know people say that one had the better proportions out of all the caps till that date, but there was something about this Captain America that to me, he just looked really buff, really like the traps were good, like everything just like he just looked like he was pulled out from the movie, except for that head sculpt. And I remember that being a little bit hit or miss for me, but it just looked really cool. It looked imposing. It came with some cool accessories, and it came from my favorite movie, Infinity War, which still remains my favorite MCU movie.
Same.
So getting rid of it was like painful for me, and I was like, damn, I rebought it, and then I sold it again when I got the Endgame, and then I rebought it, and then I sold it again when I got the Endgame stealth suit. So this is, you know, one of those figures that was definitely one that I was, you know, contemplating, and I regret passing on it and or regret selling it.
Dude, honestly, Javier, with this Captain America, if the head sculpt were as good as it should have been, I probably would definitely have this figure.
Yeah, I love the pretty look.
Well, see, I do too, Keco. I love this Infinity War look, and Infinity War is my favorite film. Period. Like
I'm about to watch it tonight for real.
Yeah, dude, it's the pinnacle of MCU entertainment, of superhero. I think it's the best superhero film ever made. Like I like. I even like it. I like it more than The Dark Knight, which is
that's
crazy.
Not true. That's not
true. It is, dude. The Dark Knight is up there. It's like number 2 or 3, but Infinity War to me is the best superhero film ever. I just think it's phenomenal in every way. So you know, this Captain America, I would love to have it, but it's just the head sculpt. It was something with the lip and the beard. It didn't quite mesh perfectly, and you know, you can't put a helmeted sculpt on this one because you didn't have it. So it doesn't have the shield for some people, but yeah, it's I think this figure you can still get pretty. And also, I was hoping at some point that they would make the Proxima and Corvus because of the accessories you got here.
Right.
But they never did. Hopeful one day, summer exclusive, baby. Summer exclusive. It's gonna happen.
Black Order. Great.
Because even if they don't make Call Obsidian, like Keco said, like they make the other 3. And then, you know, there'll be summer exclusives. Like maybe they'll make them 500 a piece or something, like 500 pieces. And they might end up being $500 a piece. And I would probably still pay that because I would just love to have the Black Order. But
what if they made the other ones, but they give you a Cole Obsidian piece that you need to get all of them to build them, like a Build-A-Figure?
Oh my God, dude.
Hot Toys?
That would be crazy.
I mean, they're already doing big Marvel Legends with that $20.99.
Or so like I said, dude, honestly, I think people would be more than okay if you make Cole Obsidian a power pose or like a statue. Just make him like non-articulated. He has his hammer in his hand. That's fine, right? He's too big to make articulated.
King Shark.
Yeah, right. Exactly. King Shark. So I think that'd be fine. Anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What figure do you regret on selling or passing? I think it's an interesting conversation. That said, guys, we're going to wrap it there because we're right around 7 o'clock. Thank you so much to this amazing panel for their wonderful thoughts and for the chat for weighing in on all these great topics. Mr. Keco Collects, sir, what is coming up on the gram and the YouTube?
Yeah, so I went back to the archives to pull out some Jack Sparrow photos this week. So we put some Jack Sparrow content on there. I'm going to do Loki and Sylvie this week on the gram. Got some more reels that we're going to be churning out. My goal is hopefully, get to that 10,000 mark here real soon on the IG. So make sure we're doing that. And I really wanted to announce a new format for the YouTube channel of things are going to do, but work got in the way of that. I've literally had it on my calendar to set it up, and then some things happened today. So maybe next week, guys. Maybe next week. But make sure to subscribe, follow, do all those fun things. Always engage, message. I like hanging out with y'all. So
yeah, it's always great, guys. Check out Keco Collects on the gram, on the YouTube. Lots of great content coming at you, and hopefully more exciting stuff that on the YouTube. Maybe Keco will do a live stream at some point. I gotta
let's not get too overzealous there.
I gotta convince him. We're gonna do one. So that said, guys, check out Keco Collects. Javier, bro, is there anything you want to plug? Place for collecting? Anything you want to talk about?
Absolutely, a place for collecting. It's definitely my favorite group at the moment. I'm no longer a mod there, just trying to prioritize things in life. But the group of guys that are left there, incredible. Carlos, Nick, Riley, Luis, the mods and the admins that are there, creating a safe space for collectors is something that I'm very fond of. I'm very passionate about as well. So I'm very happy that they are doing that. And yeah, just go in there. We have nice discussions. We try to stay positive. We try to make sure that no one's laughing at you. And we just try to make sure everyone's having a good time. Safe space for collectors, for any type of collectors too. It doesn't necessarily have to be 1/6. But yeah, just wanted to plug that guys in. They're incredible over there. So very happy to have been part of that, and very happy to be part of the community that they're forming. So yeah, go check them out. And me personally, on this level, I'm just selling figures. So if anyone, is interested, hit me up on Facebook. Just say that you're from the stream and I'll give you a discount or something. I'll probably post something. I'm just trying to downsize my collection, keep it more, I guess, significant and memorable and more to myself, I guess. So something about that. I've shared with you the plans that I got going on.
I love it,
so
bro. I love it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining, man.
No, absolutely. Thank you again for having me. And it's always great to be on here conversing with Keco and yourself. So no, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Always great to have you, bro. And all awesome thoughts. And yeah, I wish I had a channel I could plug. Javier will have a channel maybe one day. Maybe one day he'll be on the YouTube and we can plug his channel for him.
But yeah, man, insurance.
Hit me up. Man, you got to sell insurance on your channel. You could do that. But I'm happy to have you as always, bro. And there's other topics we're going to get to, but run out of time tonight. I know someone was asking about the Infinity Studios 1/6. We will cover that probably in a different show. We just sort of ran out of time tonight covering other stuff. That said, guys, thank you so much. We got a super chat before we leave. 16 figure shot. Thank you so much, bro. So homework for you, Will. Watch Bad Batch. LOL. Love your show, bro. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the kind words. I'll give Bad Batch a watch at some point because you and Keco recommended it. So if you and Keco recommend it, then I trust you guys. So I'm gonna take your word.
I'll even give you the cheat sheets of the episode you can skip.
Really? That sounds great, actually.
Yeah, kind of like with Clone Wars, there's definitely ones you can skip, So
I've had some exciting developments that I just want to share briefly real quick before we end. Like it's my Module cases, Module spaces will arrive next week, hopefully. The plan is either Monday or Tuesday. So I'm going to start building those as soon as possible. And my waitlist converted for Darth Vader. So I was very excited for that. Ooh. I got the Sideshow exclusive version. So I was like, yep, there we go.
That hologram about to be hot.
That hologram's going to be hot, baby. That hologram's going to be super hot. And the hologram projector too. Don't forget that part. So anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Other stuff coming up on the channel. I've been posting a lot of Instagram reels. People think I've been smoking some shit. I have not been, I promise. I've just been posting some. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. There's something in the water, but I've been posting some fun stuff. So check out the Instagram reels and YouTube shorts. And yeah, check out these guys. They're great. They're amazing. I was riding on the back of an eagle earlier. So that was pretty fun.
The baseball with Luke might be the best though.
Yeah, dude, that was actually a tennis ball. I was looking for I was trying to find a football too, but I didn't have one. So I was like, well, got to make do with what I got. So
I just want to see the behind the scenes on how you filmed.
Dude, I have the clip.
Catching the ball.
I think I have the clips. Yeah, I think I have them, but I could probably post if people want to see it because it's just one long recording or a couple long recordings. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Bye. Have a good weekend. See you. Bye.